Hey guys, welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video. I'm not gonna lie, we gotta jump in. All right. So a couple of things. I'll be honest with you. I'll keep it above. The 10th year anniversary, in my opinion, what's up? Right here. 10th year anniversary, in my opinion, was a disappointment. I was disappointed this anniversary. I'm gonna keep it a book. I was disappointed this anniversary. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to happen that didn't happen. I felt like the way everything was executed, from the banners to the units to the quality of the events, all of that stuff. It wasn't good in my opinion. It wasn't good. But that's a whole nother discussion. Right now, I just want to talk about the units. I just want to talk about the units. Just the units. Okay. What I think we should have gotten for this anniversary is a fusion anniversary instead of what we actually got, right? I'm not mad with Gogeta and Vegito. I was like, okay, but I had a problem. I definitely did have a problem when we also got Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Blue Vegeta, and then what's the other one? And then we got Gohan and Frieza. I ain't gonna lie, 6 units, and in my opinion, Super Saiyan 4 Goku is not that far off from being mid. Because free transformation, if you're running him in events where there's dodge canceling, he's a liability. He's a liability for a little bit, and I have to wait for so long for him to transform. Gotta wait for the HP threshold and whatnot. Because depending on the rotation, either I'm dead or I hit the HP threshold, and he's not on rotation for the most part for me. But that's another thing. His build. But yeah, I think in general we should just got a fusion anniversary. Because that way we could have got the switch if we wanted to make the switch mechanic for all the new units. Like, oh my goodness, we didn't pull Gogeta and Vegito. Even though they gave us the Paraga, we could get a free anniversary unit, which is again a freaking godsend. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people gave the anniversary a 10 off that. If you ask me, that if we were to give this out of 10 for like each different part with a whole nother video, off the top of my head, part 1 was like a 7 or 8. Part 2 was maybe like a 7.5, and part 3, before we got the free anniversary unit, was a 6, and then after, I'll give it a 7.5, maybe an 8 at best. Ultimately, I think this anniversary is a disappointment, if you ask me. If we look at units, unit by unit, and y'all gonna see how I feel. Again, I'm just gonna swap through my slides, my tabs that I got here. We could have got a Tien and Yamcha what if unit if need be. Now, was it guaranteed to happen? Probably not, but it was something we could consider. Another thing we could have got is a Boo and Maju. Because imagine you swap into Fabu, you start as Fabu, swap into Maju, and then they fuse into Maju, right? That would have been a way to get GT representation for a fusion unit. Because again, what's gonna make Dokkan money? Fusions. So imagine a whole anniversary and it's just fusions. And you have the headliner fusions and you got the mediocre fusions. Okay? These guys would be the other 6, units that would be they just be and we could do another video talking about what they could do, what they would look like, and what have you. But I just gotta get this off my chest. I get this off because I'm hot. I ain't gonna lie, I'm hot. I wanted them to do more, and I think they dropped the ball. And I'll be honest with y'all boys, I'm a Gohan fan. I love Gohan. I adore Gohan. But this is the worst Gohan representation I've seen. The worst. What happens? It's LR Gohan, gets an EZA, and the EZA is mid. And then we drop an LR Gohan for the anniversary, and he's mid. Again, Truth is gonna say units are good and this and that, but Truth doesn't use units at 55% for 2 years straight. He doesn't do that, and I respect Truth. Sometimes we can disagree, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't use he uses every unit level 10 links, best equips possible, and they're rainbowed. Most of us, if we even pull them, no dupes or 1 dupe, level 10 links maybe, and if you're not farming or have good RNG, you don't have good equips either. So that's another thing. That's a whole other thing as well. But yeah, I would say that would have been good for Majuba. That would have been a really interesting conversation for a GT representation. Now, again, Disney Anniversary units, I'm not mad at them. I don't really care too much. I'm not mad at them. Now, if we go back. This is Android. This is Planet Namek. I'm sorry. We got Piccolo and Nail. Imagine for a simulation, you start off as Nail, and you can swap into Piccolo who just showed up, right? And then either revive mechanic or whatever, active skill, Piccolo absorbs Nail instead of swapping into Piccolo who just arrived on Planet Namek, right? That's a whole nother thing. Or you can have Piccolo and Kami. You start off as Kami, you swap into Piccolo. It's not that difficult. It's not that hard to understand or get around, right? I just think it would have been a really good, interesting way, because that way you have representation for different categories, right? Because I know they were talking about Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. But I'm like, this is how you buff up categories that need more help. Planet Namek could use a little bit of help. We don't have enough leaders, right? Or we need more variety of units. Because if you ask me, for how much happened in Planet Namek, them boys do not have a lot going on for cards. At least cards to run, right? Another Piccolo, okay. Android Cell Saga, okay. You know, we already got units that are interesting. I just think we need more units that lead other, that are not just androids, or Bottom Caster and Disciple, or Super Saiyan / Android Cell Saga. Like, it would be very nice if we had, I don't know, an Android Cell Saga and either Worthy Rivals, or Android Cell Saga and what's it called? Heavenly Events, a new lead for those categories with these guys, right? With a Piccolo and Kami, right? Now, if you ask me, I think, I'm gonna remember, but I think 70 should be on the Worthy Rivals category. But that's a whole other conversation. But still, you see what I'm trying to get at, right? So that's another unit I would like to see in the game for sure. Again, this is the card that we have in the game. Honestly speaking, we should have got a swap unit for him. I think that would have been a good option. And now we get to another GT representation. The most hated card, the most hated arc in GT Super 17. Again, Android 19 and Dr. Gero have the best mechanic of Key Bass Super Attack They Heal. If we had a swap between Hellfighter and Android 17 and what have you, oh my goodness, that would have been a great way to fix what? Target Goku category, the Androids category, another GT Bosses lead, or buff power absorption, uncontrollable power, inhuman deeds. All these categories could use some help, except Fuse Fighters and probably Androids. We got options. But some of these other categories could use some more help. And then you got a best friend for him, and you got a best friend for LR Tech Super 17, who's probably going to get an EVA, and he's going to be mediocre still, if we're going to be honest. But that's another conversation for another time. But again, imagine Fusion Anniversary, the swap mechanic. Imagine the anniversary, every new unit has a swap mechanic. Oh my goodness, the tag mechanic, whatever it's called. You know what I mean. Oh my goodness, this would have been stellar, to say the least. Okay? And now, the freaking travesty of the past 10 years of Dokkan. Why do we not have a Goten and Trunks fusing into Gotenks card in the game? We don't have that. Number two, we don't have a Joint Forces fusion card for Super Saiyan Goten and Trunks. We don't have that. That's a whole nother problem we have. Why don't we have these units in Dokkan? Dokkan, what's going on? What's going on, bro? What are y'all boys doing? We can do more. For sure. We can do more. Again, you start off as Goten, you swap into Trunks, one raises. Like, we already have a free-to-play one, but imagine they fused into Gotenks, right? And then, I don't know, either this is Super Saiyan base form or Super Saiyan 3. In my opinion, it should have just been Super Saiyan 3, and then the free-to-play one goes transforms into base form, and then you have a you have a free to play one. This was me. Dokkan needs to utilize more of their stuff they have in the game. I think we should have every anniversary, new banner units, new friend point summon unit, and new free to play unit. Because imagine you have a summonable Goten and Trunks, right? The banner unit is Super Saiyan Goten, swapping to Super Saiyan Trunks, they fuse into Super Saiyan 3 Gotens. Okay? The friend summon Goten and Trunks, right? The friend summon Goten and Trunks is, I don't know, base form Goten and Trunks. You swap, they fuse into base form Gotens. And then the free-to-play farmable LR, like Master Roshi, is what? Base form Goten and Trunks, you swap back and forth, they transform into Super Saiyan Gotenks. That way, you have 3 different ways of content. Everything is getting love. Now, I understand with gacha laws, you can't be dropping units. You can't be dropping units who's not doing this. You can't be dropping units where you have to pull both of them to use them together. But this is friend points and this is free to play. So that should be able to bypass the laws, in my opinion. I don't know all the details. But again, this is a travesty. Goten and Trunks are underloved in this game for how much this game loves fusion. But that's another thing, right? And if anything, right here, if you want to be clowns, you make the friend point summon Goten and Trunks, fusion of fat Gotenks and skinny Gotenks. And then the free-to-play Goten and Trunks that you farm up is Gotenks, not transformed into Super Saiyan 1, is base form Gotenks, not Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks. Boom! And then the summonable one, Super Saiyan 3. Light work, no reaction. I would love, honestly, I might do this again with more graphics in the chart. But I need to talk about this. I need to get this off my chest for real. Alright, another unit we could have in the game. Another what if. Right here. Baby Gotenks or GT Gotenks. Now, some of you may be like, that's a what if. We just had Tiencha, okay? We can do that, right? My thing is this. We have GT Trunks and GT Goten in the game, right? And we could make them a swap unit if we wanted to, because that way, what categories are you guys on? We're on what? Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Terrifying Conquerors, Core Body, Mind, Earthbred Fighters. Number 1, Hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Core Body, Mind, Earthbred Fighters. Terrifying Conquerors. Imagine a Broly unit that links up on a Super Saiyan's category or Terrifying Conquerors, and they link up with these guys. That's another thing. And then the free-to-play. And then, remember, it's a what-if unit. I know what you guys are saying. Oh, but they don't exist in the game. Okay. There's other units in the game that don't exist. What's it called? What's his name? What's it called? Kid Great Saiyaman. He doesn't exist. That's Trunks. Kid Great Saiyaman. He doesn't exist in the game. But we have him right here. He's not a real character. We could do this. We could do it. Dokkan makes up units all the time. They could make up a random Gotenks fusion if they wanted to. They could. Again, base form Goten and Trunks for baby. Honestly, I don't know why we don't have a baby event and stuff like that. But you know, those could be banner units. But we're not. We're talking too much. Too much on my blood. All right. So let me close this. All right. Again, GT Gotenks, you swap between Goten and Trunks from GT, the fusion of Gotenks from GT that we never got to see. That would have been cool. That would have been interesting, right? And if you want to make them transform, whatever, you can make it based from Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 3. Again, I wish we would have seen them in the anime. Whole point being, these are guys that could exist, guys we can work with. All right, next. All right. The true travesty. You guys saw a sneak peek here and there. The super representation. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. These guys would have been a layup. Because imagine you start off as Rose, you swap it to Zamasu, and then the way it works is this. Rose, he works better the less HP. No, you make it so like this. Sorry, you start with Zamasu, you swap it to Rose. The way Zamasu works, he was on Super. That boy has insane amount of guard damage reduction and what have you. He guarantees additional super attack and whatever. He heals on Super, or he heals at the end of each turn. Right, super tanky. Right, then you swap to Goku Black, and Goku Black, honestly, Goku Black should have an active skill where he uses his scythe, and then that's where you lose the Potara earrings or whatever, if you ask me. And then you have that, and then you have the Goku Black without the scythe or whatever, Rose. And then what happens? Homeboy infinitely stacks, right? Damage reduction, dodge, right? Counters normals. Oh my goodness, counters normals is kind of crazy. If he has a scythe, he counters. I think that'd be better. Or whatever. And then fuse into Zamasu or whatever. And that's a whole nother thing. Right? Easy layup for Extreme Unit and their Fusion for the Fusion anniversary. Easy layup. Now, Tiencha again, I don't gotta go back to this. This is a what if. Kel and Khalifa. Oh my lord. When I saw them release, and I was like, so they're not gonna be Kefla? I went back to this. And now, mind you, during the anniversary, while it was happening, I was talking to my brother, talking to my cousin, talking to my homeboy. I was like, look, bro, them boys should have just made a Fusion anniversary and called it a day. People would have blown their wallets. Because, mind you, y'all boys, Global's anniversary was in July until this year. Right? Now, if I remember correctly, Dokkan for Global did not get top grossing in the US. And I think I know why, because people didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what to plan for, whatever. If they said off rip, year 10 was the year of fusions, I promise you, part 1, part 2, US would hit top grossing. Because we already got Goku and Vegeta. We already got Gogeta and Vegito, right? We already got Gogeta and Vegito. Imagine all of these other fusion characters. All these other fused characters. Imagine the love they would have gotten. It would have been crazy. I was expecting to see Kefla. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were gonna drop when they dropped Kefla just now this celebration or Golden Week Part 2, the Part 2 allowed for Golden Week. Well, I'm not saying day. I don't think they're saying Golden Week, right? I'm like, okay, this is about to be lit. And then I see this, and I'm just like, bro, they're good units. They're good. They have a good swap mechanic, right? But yeah, bro. Everybody in the mama wanted Kefla. Again, we should have got Kefla for the anniversary. Mind you. In my opinion. Because that way we have the villain units that get some love and support. And if need be, we can even have some of these units start off extreme and then their fusion is super or whatever. Right? But that's my opinion. That's my takeaway. Let me know guys think in the comments. I think that's it for the most part. I could rant about these banners and these units a whole nother time. Especially after last year was damn near peak Dokkan. Damn near peak Dokkan. It's ridiculous. It really was peak Dokkan last year. It really was. Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. It was peak Dokkan last year. And then this year, after the anniversary and those disappointing 4 out of 6 units, again, GT Goku is barely good, in my opinion. That damage, 10% damage reduction on his passive is carrying heavy. Without that, fraud watch. But yeah, that's what I'm on. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe you guys agree or disagree in the comments below. I think that's it for the most part. Again, Fuse Fighter is not a bad category. I think we could have done more. And if anything, we could have got Dragon Ball Heroes units. If this was the year of fusions. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Bro. Again, some people might say they're saturated, but I'm like, all you gotta do is just not drop fusion for the rest of the year. The anniversary is 6 new fusion units. Or drop fusion for the rest of the year. Or you drop fusion, obscure fusions. Again, bro, Fuse Fighter category. What category is this? Yeah, Fuse Fighter category. Why is he on the Fuse Fighter category? Oh, Peace Piccolo. bro. I'm telling you, there's so much more Dokkan could have done with this. Yeah, I'm still betting money that if you ask me, right, out of all these units I just brought up to you, the 6 I would focus on, obviously the Gogeta Vegito we got, right? And then I would have done Kellen Caulifla as the Carnival, Goten and Trunks as the Carnival, and part 2, Goku Black as Zamasu, and then Android 17 and Hellfire 17. That's light work. That's light work. Light work. That's safe. Those are characters people like, fusions people care about actually, because nobody's gonna say no to Gotenks as a side unit. Nobody's gonna say no to Kefla. No one's gonna say no to Zamasu and Rose, especially if they're good. Like the people you have to fight for is Nell and Piccolo, Hellfire 17 and 17, and GT 17, Oob and Boo, and then the What Ifs. And if honestly, if you ask me, depending on their kit, they could sub these 3 out. Honestly speaking, to give some other categories and some characters some love, because I'm telling you, artificial life forms and some other categories, they need some love, bro. I'm telling you, Nella Piccolo and Kami, bro. Imagine a Realm of Gods Piccolo. Imagine Piccolo on Realm of Gods. Imagine support type units. 3 crafting. But yeah, let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments below. Let me know if you guys think what you guys think on what we should have had. And yeah, I'll see you. Have a good one. And God bless.